Hey Robin, hey Padre, how you doing? I'm doing great. I just want to take this moment to share you everything I know about how to live a failure-free life, because I never fail. Oh, that's cool, I guess. Yeah. All right, sit back, because I'm going to teach you everything. You just got to sit back and listen. Yeah, booyah. Okay. What's up guys, thank you for checking out this video. There's gonna be some cool entrepreneurial tips and tricks here. This is part of a Kidpreneurship course for parents I recorded. So if you want to check out the entire course, module 1 is right over here. Or you can check out our regular actual YouTube videos which shares tips, tricks, roadmap strategies to help you build profitable businesses. Lastly, this is a non-for-profit YouTube channel, so 100% of YouTube AdSense revenue will be donated to legal registered charities that support youth entrepreneurship. So the more we share, the more we care. Thank you so much for your support, and let's get on with the video. Peace. What's going on guys? Welcome back. We are in module 2.3, is it? Yeah, man, this is so awesome. So 2.3 is about being a teacher versus a guide. Now, we've gone through all these sort of lessons, right, in terms of what is entrepreneurship, why it's important, the paradigm shift we have to have, believing in our kids, facing ourselves, being the wounded healer, and also believing in all kids, and also getting the ego out of the way. And so the ego has a little bit related to the teacher versus guide. I am not a psychologist, or I don't know what you call these people, but at the end of the day, I feel that the teacher side needs to have a bit of an ego to fuel it. The challenge is that, just like I guess Eckhart Tolle, he was saying that the ego is not a bad thing. It's like information on a dashboard. This is what the ego is saying, right? So there's times to leverage the ego, there's times to become a guide versus another role, which I'm discussing right at the end of this section. This is gonna be a really quick one, so hopefully it'll be like under 5 minutes or something, maybe less, maybe more, we'll see. All right, so the challenge here is I'm now in teacher mode and I'm teaching you. It's great, I'm sharing my information with you, but this is why online courses is not the greatest all the time, and I'm saying this straight up. It's why I don't put a whole ton of value as much as I would in a face-to-face. That's kind of obvious, right? But the teacher is I'm just sharing information. There's times where you just need to learn, and then implement. Yes, this is where an online course will be effective. But when it comes to your kids, it is not about being a teacher. Just imagine just constantly being told, or taught.
Yes, we get it.
Even right now, I mean, we're only at 2.3, and I'm sure there's times where you're like, or maybe not. I've been so good at keeping your attention. Maybe you haven't gone there yet, but I wouldn't be offended if it did happen. And I would ask myself how I could do better, of course, but I digress. So the teacher does not allow this deep connection. The guide, however, is a bit of a partnership. To become a guide, you almost have to interact with your environment and with your crowd, with your audience, right? And so when you become a guide to your child, it becomes a different type of conversation. Questions, the curiosities, being observant of how they're responding, and you could kind of shift, learning a little bit and then responding. So being a guide, I think, is way better than teacher because it even sets the mindset a little bit differently. It also takes a bit of pressure off you because as a guide, what I find is that you're trying to empower them to take action, right? You're trying to inspire them to take action, to figure it out on their own. So that's amazing. The third one is what I call the student, where you become a student of your child. I think when I asked the question earlier in a previous module, I think it was 2.1 maybe, is when I asked, when did you remember the time where your child was so creative that it was almost like your child was living in abundance, right? Just wow, anything was possible, right? The ideas were just flying off like, and so when you observe stuff like this, you suddenly become a student of your child. You start learning about your child, you start learning from your child. And to me, playing that role of a student is so foundational and even catalytic to how a child develops and develops that entrepreneurship mindset and courage and self-confidence and even feeling fully supported by the parent or the guardian, right? And so when I think about my role in terms of how often I play, it's not like I measure with a stopwatch or anything, but I feel I play a role of a guide 40% of the time, and I play the role of a student 40% of the time, and I play the role of a teacher 20% of the time. Either way, teacher is the smallest role, and I find only when I feel they're asking me to teach them something in particular, yes, oh man, I'm so glad I could teach you this. This is so awesome that you want to learn this, right? But it has to come out through conversation. It has to come out through being a guide and being a student of theirs first. Then it's gaining that trust. It automatically creates a gain in trust for them to say, hey, yo, can you teach me? So it's gonna be a short, like I said, I'm seeing like 4 minutes and 35 seconds. That's it. I'm gonna end this. Why waste more time? What I want to leave you with though is a bit of an exercise, something you can do intuitively right away, is that either think about your latest interaction with your child and ask yourself, were you in teacher mode, guide mode, or were you a student? Now moving forward, even be intentional, saying, you know what, the first thing I'm gonna do when I see my child right now is I'm gonna be ultra curious. I'm gonna be a student of my child. Or you could just observe your children and just watch them, let them go loose, fun, and see what triggers this like spark in their eye, right? And another thing you could say is, you know, I'm gonna get into guide mode. And so what can I do now to guide, and what could I observe about my child? I can say, you know what, let's ask them a few questions to shift the way they see something, right? And so that's what I'd like you to do right now. I, of course, always try to offer something. So you'll see in the supplementary materials, like you download, I think, I haven't decided how I'm gonna offer this, but maybe it might be easier if you just offer as a download if you're interested. You could give your email. I won't blast you or anything, but, or you could just download directly from a website. Haven't decided, but I will provide a list of things where, you know, when you're curious about your child, what can you be curious about? And same thing as a guide, and even same thing as a student, in particular around entrepreneurship. Sounds good? All right, short and sweet, much love. We'll chat with you guys later. Bye-bye.